Well, hey there. Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Looks like we've got some people coming in the room here. We'll wait a few more minutes for things to crowd up here a little bit. It's September already. I can't believe it. Hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend. You have any wild stories from Labor Day weekend to share? Anybody? Anybody go to Burning Man or anything like that? Tell you what, I'm obsessed with Burning Man for some reason. It's there's two sides to that coin. I mean, the people in Reno do not like Burning Man because it's a drain on all the natural beauty of the place. And when people leave Burning Man, they dump all their garbage in Reno. So there's that. And then the other thing is just the oddity of everything. It's just fascinating to me. But I don't know, there's pros and cons. So I'm sure there's a lot of stories that came out of Burning Man this year. Michael Bias, I mean, I'm sure you like to go to Burning Man a lot because they're right there in your backyard, right? Let's see, Michael's muted.
Yeah, they pretty much overwhelm Reno Sparks, Northern Nevada, coming in and leaving.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing. What, 70,000 people?
it's incredible. Yeah, and now Starlink's there, right? So I think there's a lot more on social media this year than there has been in the past, which is interesting. You can see a lot of interesting things on Facebook and Reddit from Burning Man. So fantastic. All right. All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and get started. It's good to see everybody here. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. It's September already. It's hard to believe. Theoretically, we should start looking towards the end of the year. The kids are going back to school, and we're going to start up with the whole sports things and stuff like that again. And before you know it, it's going to be Christmas. So it's going to happen. Today we've got a really unique guest, and he and I have quite a background. But before we get to that, I just want to, there's some new names here today. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Focus Planet. Focus Planet started back in 2013, simply to help people with ConnectWise, right? So, we found that ConnectWise could do a lot of things, but MSPs just didn't have time to set it up and make it happen. So we started Focus Planet shortly after selling my MSP, and the intention was just to be a resource for other MSPs to help with their business. We do all kinds of ConnectWise administration. We do the work for you and help you with the strategy of getting everything set up properly. The other thing we do is we do a lot of ConnectWise whiteboard workshops where we come into your office and provide a visual training and workshop experience where you can learn how ConnectWise is designed to operate and the flow of everything as it goes through, and the impact of different roles in your company on those that are using ConnectWise. So talk to us about the whiteboard workshops. The other good thing about the whiteboard workshops is when I go to your office to do a whiteboard workshop, it gets me out of the house. So it's a good thing. Upcoming events. There are some events coming up. I like to promote things that I feel are good for MSPs. There's an event coming up called Absolutely Unbreakable Rules for Service Delivery by our friend Carl Palachuk. Carl's been offering this class for the last several years. It's a really good foundation class on service delivery. It's not just for your service managers. It's also a good class for, technicians that just don't seem to get it. And, It's getting ready to start, I think, September the 9th, and it's only $399. So it's a virtual class, and I don't remember how many weeks it runs, but it's created so that it's not intrusive to your day-to-day operations, but it's a class where it's got a lot of good, solid information on some common sense areas of service delivery. So if you sign up for that class, just tell Carl I sent you. And he's got a price low enough that I wouldn't even ask for a discount because it's worth every penny. So there's that. The other thing coming up, oh, speaking of Carl, he sent me this book, The IT Consultant's Year of Intention. And this is really cool. He's written this book so that you have on paper, you can set aside some dedicated time and think about what your next year is going to look like. So there's a lot of planning in here. There's a lot of concepts and rules in here that is very helpful. There's a link to the book. Captain just put it out there. Um, I've been through this a couple times, and it's just got a lot of good, solid information in it and a lot of good, solid work where it generates thoughts in your mind about different strategies that you can use for the upcoming year. It is definitely a year of intention if you go through and use this book. The other events coming up, Chartech Academy at the end of the month, September 30th through October 2nd. I'll be there and looking forward to this one. Another good, solid academy. It's always good seeing, new faces at Chartech and, seeing people that I've seen before and just catching up. So always a good time. So I want to talk a little bit about today's guest. So Matt Makowicz and I kind of have a little bit of a history. Back in 2007, I think, Matt wrote a book about selling managed IT services. And I read that book and I was just fascinated by the concepts in it. And I used what I learned in that book to do, to help me with sales with selling my MSP services. And so over the years, as a matter of fact, at one event, Matt had the book there and he was speaking at the event, and he was also selling a little USB with the audio of the book. And the audio was much better than the book itself because he had all of Matt's comments and notes and input, that didn't make it into the book. So it was, to me, I thought it'd be cool to have that USB, but I didn't have the money to pay for it. And so I was able to talk Matt into giving me the USB. I think he just got tired of talking to me. He's like, here, go, get away. But I got the USB, I got the book, and it was very valuable to me, extremely valuable to me in order to sell my managed services at the time. So then I met Matt a few years later. Matt and I crossed paths again down at IT Nation. This was, several years later, and he and I started talking about me selling my MSP. And he got that ball rolling, and he brokered the sale of my MSP and went through that entire process with me, and it was fantastic. So Matt and I go way back, and here we are, how many years later, and Matt's a guest on our webinar. So it's really cool, to keep in touch with this guy over the years. He's a great guy, very, very familiar with the MSP world, and extremely well versed in customer service and taking care of your clients in a very professional, giving a very professional look to taking care of your clients. And so with that, I think I'll hand it over to Matt, and we can talk about the strategic client experience.
Excellent. Okay, how do I share screen here?
There we go. Technical. So Matt is not technical.
I used to be. I used to pretend. I used to pretend to be. That's really more at, what button do I hit to share my screen here on Teams?
It's just to the left of the leave button. Make sure you don't hit the leave button.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, I got it. I got it. All right, let's see.
Make sure you pick the right screen.
Right?
Oh yeah,
Is that important?
that's also important.
Nobody's ever done that, right? Pick the wrong screen.
No.
Can everybody see my slide?
Yes.
All right, fabulous. Well, thanks for that great intro, Bill. Yeah, it's true. You and I have gone a ways back, and it's just kind of really fun to kind of come back into the MSP space. And Bill and I did a Chart Tech Academy a couple of months ago in May. And, it felt like a reunion, it really kind of, I felt at home, and it was just kind of cool to see some people I hadn't seen in 15 or 18 years. And it was just really, really cool. Met some people who had bought my book, and I don't even remember who they were, but we just, kind of connected, and they reminded me, and it was just really, really neat to do that. And, I kind of exited the MSP technology space. Had back in '08, I had the big trifecta of, a divorce, a bankruptcy, a foreclosure. My life was a mess. Moved across the country and just kind of got out of the IT space after a little while. And got into real estate, and was just raising my 4 kids by myself, and it was a trying time, but everything happens for a very good reason, and it kind of brought me back to the MSP space, because what happened is I missed helping businesses with their growth, their challenges, and MSPs have always been near and dear to my heart. So I find myself back as a consultant, but instead of as an IT consultant for SMBs, I am a strategic gifting consultant now. So what the heck is that, right? Why do you need one? So we'll get into all that, but I really honor the relationship that Bill and I have had. Him and I have had very good conversations about business, about life, many of which over a whiskey or cigar, often both. And we've just maintained a great professional and personal friendship over, almost 2 decades now. So it's just, and I, admire what you've built here with the Focus Planet community, and just really honored to be here. So thanks again for that. So what Bill and I were chatting about, me sharing today, was really how gifting can really provide numerous advantages to your business that you just might not be aware of. So we titled this presentation, The Hidden ROI of Gifting: Building Loyalty, Referrals, and Culture. So let's see, advance the slide. There we go. Okay, so why I'm here, like Bill said, I'm a former MSP. I kind of did well with that. I was the Microsoft Partner of the Year a couple of times back in the day. And as Bill alluded to, when I kind of transitioned out of my MSP, I did write 3 books all about sales and marketing and building a sales team around the MSP business. I did boot camps, I did seminars, I think I did about 300 speaking engagements across the country over about 2-year time frame. And so bottom line is I know the challenges of running an MSP, even though it's a little bit in the rearview mirror. But I understand the challenges of staff, the challenges of sales, the challenges of salespeople, the operational challenges, clients, relationships, and more. But I've always been the guy that is going to help businesses move forward and move the needle that they're trying to move. So today, what I really hope is that if you're here, then what you're going to get out of this is kind of a new perspective, right? Like I mentioned, I'm a strategic gifting consultant. What the heck is that? It sounds like a made up title, you know. Well, it's not too different than than MSP or IT strategist or any of those back in the day. But essentially, what I do is I help your business build and elevate relationships that are important to your business. And we do that through strategic gifting. So I'm the expert in that and to help facilitate that. But what you should take away just from this presentation today is that, gifting isn't swag, it's a strategy. And I'm not going to really knock on the coffee mugs and the pens and all that stuff. There's a time and place for that, but that's not gifting. Okay, so that's not what we're talking about. There's a couple of places where this will fit into your business. One is enhancing the onboarding experience of your clients. And of course, there's a lot of adages, some axioms, some fun, some classy, some rude. But if you bring the customer on the right way, it's really setting the stage for the rest of the customer experience and their loyalty. So that can be improved with strategic gifting. And then it's a matter of turning clients that are, happy customers, so to speak, into evangelists. And maybe that's an overused word, or a raving fan, if that's more comfortable. But basically converting folks that would speak positively about you, if asked, to folks that go out of their way to bring you up in conversations with people you really want to be introduced to, and then facilitate that introduction. So we can accomplish that through strategic gifting. Staff, I mean, I am never the one to really focus on FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I'm not going to be the guy that focuses my presentations or my messages on, hey, it's really expensive to replace a key employee if they leave. And it's a real pain in the butt. It is, but that's not my focus. The truth is, it's way better, way more fun, and way more effective to make sure your people that are critical to your business and your operations feel appreciated at a high level. And there's some tricks and some strategies with that. And guess what? We can improve that through strategic gifting. But really, it's every relationship that you have in your business. So really, I talk about staff, and that obviously can come in all flavors, and outsourced staff, contractors, employees. We talk about clients. Not all clients are created equal. We get that. And then we're talking about partners. So partners could be strategic partners, referral partners, people you don't even do business with, but they are out there promoting you and giving you the introductions you want to give. So really, any relationship, any human being that can move a needle in your business, or is a relationship that is either critical to you or very important to your business, those are the people that we're going to focus on when we talk about implementing some strategies around gifting that can help the ROI in your business. We all know what ROI stands for, return on investment. But really, I actually do very little about ROI. In fact, I hesitated even putting it in the title of this presentation, because really what we're talking about is ROR, the return on relationship. And that's really the crux of what we're talking about with strategic gifting. So some of the problems that I recognize, that I remember, and the MSPs I'm working with nowadays can relate to, is, just a few, is it's hard to stand out in a crowded market and hard to kind of get noticed. There's so many companies to your prospects that seem to do exactly what you do. And we both know that that's not true, but it seems that way to the untrained eye. It seems that way to somebody just looking and kind of looking for you, or, figuring out what your company is all about. And another kind of dilemma that's a little bit more hidden, but we all recognize it. We just can't put a finger on it sometimes, is that the relationship with the client can kind of fade after the onboarding. There's a lot of contact in the beginning, and that kind of contact starts to wane. And, if you ever had a customer say, I'm not feeling the love anymore, or, hey, we never hang out anymore, some sort of equivalent to that, or it's like, oh, long time no see, or you get kind of those comments. Really, the customer's feeling a difference in the relationship, and they should feel a difference, but not in that way. They should feel a difference in a positive way. They should feel stronger. They should feel like the relationship is stronger than it was when you guys started. And then another one is, of course, the staff turnover. Any sort of key person, adding staff, growing your business, replacing staff is super costly and troublesome and time consuming, but way more positive to look at that, flip it on its head, to really, create a culture of folks that really are excited and feeling wonderful about being part of your organization and working with you. And you might say, hey, I already have that. My people love it here. Awesome. Can we do better? Can we make them even more excited? Can we get their family involved, where their family really just thinks that there's no other place for them to be? So we can always enhance that. And then, of course, referrals. Every single MSP, this is the most consistent one. Every single MSP I ever talked to talks about referrals. Really, we wish we had more referrals. We wish the referrals were more kind of teed up or ready to go. We wish it was more of a predictable system in place. And I am not here to replace all the different folks out there that specialize in helping you kind of put a system in place for referrals and things like that. So I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes there. But at the end of the day, we can't be passive about referrals, right? We can't just sit back in our office chair and wait for the referrals to wash over us. That's not a system. That's hope. Hope is not a strategy. And there's a lot of strategies around referrals that have been taught for years that just don't work, or they don't feel good to you. They don't feel like they click to you. One of the biggest challenges I remember when this is 15, 18 years ago, when most of the IT world that serviced small businesses was doing break fix, and very few. MSP was just beginning. And the biggest challenge in helping a lot of business owners make that transition was to cover the topic of, hey, I'm not a salesperson, I'm an IT guy. And trying to tell them, hey, sales is not a 4-letter word. It's okay. Sales is something we do for a customer, not to a customer. And, we would have the conversation of, well, I don't sell. I just, find out what my customer needs and listen to them. And then I offer them a solution that fits their needs and their budget. I'm like, yeah, that's sales, man. It's okay. It's, that's all right. So that was kind of a big challenge back then. And I don't think it's so much of a challenge now, but in that same vein, the core thing was, the core fear, holdback, really was that MSP business owners, really, they're technicians at heart, a lot of them, and this is probably many of you. So they never wanted to come off as like a sleazy used car person salesman. And I get that, totally get that. I don't want you to either. Far from it. And the truth is, your business is all about the relationships. And there's ways to get referrals and to have a referral system in place that can make you feel like that used car salesperson. And that's not my goal. Our goal is to help teach you how to lean on those relationships, focus on the relationships, build those relationships, and have those relationships turn into referral partners without having to do any of the begging, constantly asking, or all the things that kind of make you feel not great, not warm and fuzzy. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But those are some of the dilemmas that I've observed. This is by no means a a full list, but just some of the issues that strategic gifting can address. What strategic gifting does is several things. It builds trust and loyalty beyond the contracts, right? And, just a quick, brief story. When I went to sell my MSP, it was an interesting experience because I had at the time 50, 52 or so clients on an all-you-can-eat contract. And all of my contracts were very easy for the customer to cancel. They could just cancel, pretty much, without getting into all the nuts and bolts and fuzzies. They could just get out of the contract. So some of the people that I was talking to about purchasing my business were of the opinion that my contracts were worthless because the clients could just get out any new moment. And their opinion was that the contract should be for like 4 or 5 years and have all these teeth and penalties and challenges and hurdles for a customer to go through if they wanted to get out of the contract. And there's a strategy, as a validity to that. But I never had a customer cancel in many years. And the truth is, when I ultimately did find a buyer for the company and helped them transition and stayed on board for about 10 months to help make sure my customers were taken care of and pass the baton of the relationship, none of them left because it was all about the relationships. So I've been focused on the relationships for a long time. And most of the folks that I talk to that I think that I get along with, that I think are, we could be friends in addition to working together, people like Bill and I, they're always focused on the relationships. So that's why this new role for me, it's not new. I've been doing it for now 6 years, but it's new in terms of what I used to do last time I talked to a group of managed service providers. That's why this fits so well with me. So we're really building trust and loyalty beyond the contracts with the clients. And it turns every client into an advocate. Yeah, I'll use Bill Black here as an example. When Bill has turned me into an evangelist, that's kind of the relationship that we have. Okay. So, if someone's around, what's the difference? So you're at an IT conference of some sort, and another colleague, another IT business owner, MSP, talks to you and says, "Hey, by the way, I was thinking about using Bill Black for his services at Focus Planet. What do you think?" And I'm sure 100% of Bill's past clients would be like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, Bill is great. He's helped us in this way." Whatever they would say would be overwhelmingly positive when asked. Okay, that's easy. Not easy, but that's just the function of Bill does a great job at what he does, right? So you do a great job at what you do, you're going to get that 100%. Clients asked, they're going to be, if clients asked and they're like, not so good. Well, then you have other problems that we're not going to address in this webinar. But 100% of the time, your client's going to be, yeah, no, they're great. That's awesome. That's expected. That's the foundation. Okay. Now, though, I'm an evangelist for Bill. So when I meet anybody who is an MSP in that space at all, unless Bill's introducing them to me, I'm going to say, "Hey, by the way, do you know Bill Black? Well, here's what he does, and here's how he helps people. And I'd love to make an introduction." And then I do. And I bring it up in the conversation. And I bring it up in the conversation because I feel that I've just added value to that conversation, to that relationship, because I've talked about Bill. I'm an evangelist for Bill. You guys see the difference?
Thank you.
So you're welcome, Bill. It's deserved. So, but I do that because not only do I love Bill and I believe what he does is great, but I have so much conviction in that, and we have such a strong relationship that I bring it up because I think it's going to truly help the person in front of me. And selfishly, it's going to raise my stock with that person because I know whatever happens with their conversation with Bill, it's going to be a positive experience. So one of the goals that we have is to turn your clients into such an advocate. right? And really, there's no more powerful way to do that than with gifting, strategic gifting. I have an image there of a great book called Giftology. If you're into the audiobook thing, it's like a 2 hour and 10-minute audiobook. The author, John Rowland, fortunately passed away about a year and a half ago, too soon. But great guy. Anyway, his quote is, strategic gifting can provide an ROI that traditional marketing just can't. And man, I have seen that prove true over and over and over again. So we're really trying to turn clients and everybody else, not just clients, into referral partners. It's not a reactive, oh yeah, I know a guy for that. It's something that's proactive. And it's a subtle, tricky, but very powerful difference. Okay. So that's one of the biggest needle movers that I think strategic gifting really does for an MSP. And it feels good, right? It feels honest. It feels true to who you are, right? Because you care about your clients, you care about your people. And not every industry is built that way. But the SMB focused MSP industry, and that's, I guess, why I'm so excited to be back and reintroducing myself to this community. As a rule, generally speaking, the typical SMB focused MSP is someone who really cares about people, their clients, their employees, their personal relationships, their friends, their strategic partners. So I'm excited to help elevate those relationships even further. And then last is the staff, the employees that help you deliver these services. We want to make sure we give them appreciation that lasts. Okay. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the alternatives. So the main checklist. So all that's just kind of philosophy. Here's some tactical. So the main checklist, when you're giving a gift, what's the difference between a gift and a strategic gift? Well, these four. The top three really are mandatory in my mind. The fourth is an absolute knock it out of the park. But if nothing else, the top one, the best in class, is an absolute must, required thing, required aspect of your gift. If you want to give someone a gift and you want that gift to make a lasting impact and you want that gift to enhance the relationship, it's got to be the best of what it is. So, I mean, we're talking about anything, right? So John Rowland in his book uses an example. One of his clients he was consulting wanted to get the attention of a C-level executive. And the story goes, oh, well, I heard the guy likes watches, so I'm going to buy him a watch. And John Rowland asked him, he said, well, what's your budget? And he said, well, like $500, $1,000. And John was like, you're not getting that guy a watch. No way. No, you're going to give a watch guy something you get at the mall? No, it's not going to work. You're going to miss the mark so poorly, and you're going to waste all of your money. You want to impress the watch guy, you get him a Rolex, right? But you don't have a $10,000, $15,000 budget? Okay, that's fine. Then we're not getting him a watch. We're going to find something that is best in class for your $500 to $1,000 budget. That's the point. So whatever it is, it should be best in class. The best of what it is. Okay. That is absolute number one required. Anything less than that, you're not going to have the impact. Chance it's going to get regifted, which is a failure, by the way. And again, I'm not talking about the coffee mugs. Well, I'm glad if they give my coffee mug away, then my logo's out there. Sure. We're not talking about that. That's a whole different thing. Not a gift. Give someone a gift, you want to have impact, you want to move a needle in a relationship, you want to enhance that relationship, it's got to be best in class. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's a required field, okay? The other ones is you want something that's going to be used often. Why? You want them to be reminded of it. I mean, something that, oh my gosh, is beautiful, it's best in class of what it is, and they're going to put it up on the shelf in their office. Well, unless they're asked about it specifically, it's not going to remind them of you. It's not going to bring you up. But if it's something that's used often, if it's something that gets used, it forces them to be reminded of how much they're appreciated and appreciated by you and the relationship. So used often is really important. Strongly recommended. Longevity. The thing you're giving should last a long time. And this kind of goes hand in hand a little bit with the best in class thing, right? But it should last a long time. So something that is going to be permanent, ideally, in the recipient's life. Something that's not fleeting, because your relationship certainly isn't fleeting. And if you're taking notes, write this down. The gift you give is a reflection upon you, whether you want it to be or not. I have lots of real estate agents as clients, and I pick on them all the time because sometimes their closing gift is a gift basket with a bunch of stuff, including practical items like toilet paper. You know, it makes sense. You know, you just move in, you forget the toilet paper. I mean, it's. But guess what, man? Nothing says I'm a commodity like filling a temporary need, a temporary want, a temporary desire for somebody. That's not what you want to do. You want something that's going to last a long time. And the fourth, really most powerful in this main checklist, is if you can give the gift, if you can give a gift that involves the whole family, that's a win. You know, if it's an experience, like taking someone out to a game or out to a fancy dinner or golf course, and it just involves the one person and leaves out the family, you've missed an opportunity here. Okay. I'm going to admit that person. I guess I'm in charge when I'm presenting. That's cool. I don't use Teams as often as I use Zoom, so it's kind of fun. But this is the main checklist, everyone. This is really what it should be in your head. These four, especially these three, but without a doubt, the number one. Okay. And a little bit more color on this, right? You know, most gifts that people give, where are they 3 to 5 years later? You know, most gifts that are given are consumed or gone right away. We're talking about food, wine, booze, gift cards. Don't get me started on gift cards. I mean, nothing says gift cards are probably the only gift that can have a negative impact. Just because, I mean, how do you feel when you get a gift card? Right? Why do we give gift cards? Why do people get gift cards? Well, they're easy. They're convenient. We don't know the person well. They're going to like this. They can use it. They can do whatever they want with it, that sort of thing. Well, nothing says I don't care a lot about you by putting that little thought into a gift. And, you know, when people receive a gift, I don't care what it is, gift card or anything else, they're going to appreciate the gift. That's not what I'm talking about. They're going to appreciate the gift. But in terms of impact, not a good one. So any sort of consumable gift, not a great idea. And a lot of gifts that do stick around, they're not used. They're gathering dirt or dust on a shelf. And in gifts that miss the mark, it's so easy to miss the mark. You ever get someone a bottle of booze or a bottle of wine? Kind of like that story with the watch. You know, I bought a really nice bottle of wine for somebody. I mean, for me, it was a really nice bottle of wine. It was about $180 bottle of wine. I mean, for me, that's top shelf. Once a year, maybe two, I'm going to spend that on a bottle of wine. Person I gave it to, that's something they drink every weekend. So I missed the mark. And it's so easy to miss the mark with wine or booze. I mean, gosh, somebody could stop drinking. They could be on the wagon. They could have a health issue. Family member could have had a problem. Or, you know, quite simply, you know, I gave them a Pinot Noir and it's not from Oregon. And they only drink Pinot Noir from Oregon. I mean, it's just so easy to miss the mark with so many other gifts. I talked to a realtor who he sold a $2.5 million house. and the gift he gave was a sewing kit. And the reason he gave a sewing kit was because, oh, you know, I know she likes sewing and she's into sewing. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean she's into sewing? Oh, yeah, it's her big hobby. So have somebody who doesn't have a job outside the home and her hobby is sewing. And I said, what did you spend on that sewing kit? He's like, oh, yeah, I spent like $300. Yeah, I mean, we both know that sewing kit was going to go in the trash or get regifted. You know, talk about missing the mark in terms of quality, because he had no idea. He has no idea what a good sewing stuff, you know, is. So it's so easy to miss the mark and you know, just get something that's related to something you casually know about somebody, as opposed to really knocking it out of the park. So here's some nuts and bolts. When it comes to strategic gifting, follow the acronym of TIME. Number one is the timing of the gift. The timing, just changing the timing of when you deliver the gift can increase its impact. So we avoid the ABCs. What are the ABCs? Anniversaries, birthdays, Christmas. Don't gift during that time. Why? You already know. It's because they get a lot of other gifts at that time, right? So avoid those times of the year. If you're going to gift during the holidays, we gift before Thanksgiving. We can gift on Valentine's Day. We can gift on St. Patrick's Day. We can gift on Halloween. We can gift on Labor Day, Memorial Day. There's so many opportunities. It could be strategic on our end, but we engage in what's called planned spontaneity. And so it's strategic on our end, but it's surprise and delight on their end. And by the way, separating the gift from any sort of transaction makes the gift more focused on the relationship than it is on the quid pro quo of the transaction. Okay. So that's the T. The item, what to give. Well, we already talked about a checklist. I have an even bigger checklist, but we already talked about what the gift should be and what it shouldn't be. Messaging. The M stands for messaging. Telling a story. You have an opportunity when you give a gift to better connect with your client. Tell them why you selected that gift for them. You know, what does it mean to you to give them this gift? You ever get a gift that was like a really common item, but the story that went along with it from the person who gave it to you made it a special item? That's the power of messaging. So we're going to give a best-in-class gift, but then we're going to connect with the recipient in a way where we explain why it is we're giving them this gift. You know, we're the best of what we do. That's why I'm giving you this gift. It's the best of what it is. Okay. That's, I mean, just the beginning of the script for that, right? And then the execution is the E, right? Can it be automated? Can it be delegated? I mean, Bill's got a great system. You know, Bill's not only a friend, but he's a client. And when it's he's got a little automation set up in his ConnectWise, he just click, 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 and boom, something goes out. And it goes out because of his automations and my you know, team of assistants and so forth, and everything we have on our end, but it just makes it easy, right? So you can focus on the relationships, right? So who's going to do it? When is it going to be delivered? How is it going to be delivered? All of that. So 4 keys to strategic gifting: time. This is the full checklist, right? So obviously best in class, unique, practical, longevity, personalized. People love seeing their names on things. Have since the beginning of time. Something that's on autopilot, so you don't have to think about it. That's putting a system in place. Something that involves the whole family. Something that's an heirloom, an artifact for the person of the family. Something that's visible, out, being used in the kitchen, whatever. Something that's classy. Something that's thoughtful. You know, how about if we give somebody something that's going to take a task that they do almost daily and make it easier? Isn't that a thoughtful gift? Something that's scalable. So a couple of last things here in terms of strategy. Number one is we give generously without expectation. So that's really important, right? Oh, I gave you this gift, so I expect this in return. Or here's a strategy that doesn't work. Give me a referral and I'll give you blank. If anyone's doing that, stop. Because I would argue that you're actually doing your business more harm than good, because people feel possibly bought, and they don't feel good about it. There's just so many landmines in that. Give generously without expectation to your important relationships, and then just watch the magic happen. Okay. So we avoid the ABCs, we engage rather in planned randomness. What's the most we can do for those really important relationships versus what can we do so we can fit in the budget and gift to everybody? Again, we're not talking about the coffee mugs and the pens. We're elevating. We're talking about the most important relationships. Maybe it's not every client. Maybe it's clients above this metric. What's the most we can do for the relationships that can really move the needle? And of course, we have to identify those VIP and key relationships. That's the first step. And last is have a system for the delivery, a system for the timing, a system for the frequency, the strategy. What is it that we're trying to do? We're going to gift this person once a year. We're going to gift them 3 times throughout the year. We're going to gift them just, on certain occasions, and why. So those are kind of the tips for strategy. And, one of the main gifts that we do is Cutco. And if you haven't heard of Cutco, we're an American kitchen company, been around since the 1940s. Everything's guaranteed forever, best in class. And what we do is we engrave right on it, handcrafted, especially for Bill Black or whatever. But it's never consumed. It's used daily. It keeps top of mind. Do we do other gifts? Yes. We end up doing Cutco more often than not, just because after we talk with an MSP about who the relationships are, what needle they want to move, what budget makes sense, what happens when we do move that needle, what strategy makes sense to best impact that individual. And then, okay, let's look at gifts that check all those boxes. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, we're talking about gifts between $150, $350, and there's not much that checks all the boxes of best in class, used all the time, is going to be around a long time, and involves the family. There's just really nothing else. Very, very little under 500, very little under 1,000. Once we get over 1,000 per recipient, we have a lot more options. But I put a slide here for Cutco just because it's the most common gift, because it checks all those boxes. So you put it in place to have a partner like myself. It's a thoughtful gift for everybody. Same budget, but still easy, greater impact. Okay. So that's what I have for you. I wanted to open it up to Q&A, but I also wanted to put this QR code here. And if you scan this QR code, it'll take you to a quick little online form. Name, phone number, a couple of quick questions, probably take you 30 seconds to fill it out. Everybody who fills out that form, I'll contact you, or you can self-schedule a meeting. I'll contact you to do that. But more importantly than that, or more timely than that, I would say, is you're going to go into a chance to win a free gift, free Cutco item, whatever you want, up to $300. So you have there's 15 people on the call right now. So you're going to have and I think 3 of them are Bill Afton and myself. So you're going to have like a 1 in 12 chance
There you go.
to win something really awesome here.
What are the odds?
Right? The odds are good. So yeah. Did everybody get this? Can I stop sharing? Did anybody not get it yet?
Did everybody get the QR code? If you didn't get it, Matt, we can always generate it and send it back out. Or you can watch the replay of today's webinar, and you can get it there, right? So we're going to put this on YouTube as our, instead of sending out recordings and all that messy team stuff, we're just putting them on our YouTube channel now. So you can get the QR code at any time. And
I just put it in the chat, but I'd love, just open it up to any Q&A.
Perfect.
It's
so
always.
I have a question. It's not really a question. It's more of a comment. We've been the past several months, we've been talking about the client process, bringing in new clients. We've talked some about, earlier in the year, we talked about some marketing things. We talked about sales. We talked about, our presentation and, all kinds of things. And last month, Luke was here and helping us with some onboarding specifics. And so part of the onboarding is something like gifting, right? So
Yeah.
once your presentation as a company at a professional level would coincide with your gifting strategy. So I wanted to make a note about that. That's kind of important for the continuity of who you are as a company, and the professionalism in that. So any feedback from anybody? Questions, discussion?
Hey, Matt, Makowicz here. Met
Hi,
you
Michael.
down at Chartech.
Yes, sir.
Bought some of the Cutco spreaders. If you remember, I put myself through college selling Cutco with wherever pots and pans. So
I remember the story.
Yeah.
still have my Cutco set from 1979.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, works great. Anyway, we got our gifts, and we had an opportunity to share one of the thank you for spreading the word. We had somebody give us as a referral that closed, and immediately had the sales guy take it over and share it with her, and she was like stoked.
Fantastic. That's good.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Luke, did you have something? Oh, Luke, you're back.
Sorry,
I saw
Bill.
you walk away and then I called on you.
No, you're fine. I just got up. I was gonna pull it out. I have I think Angie's on this call, Angie Hassenbank, and so we've worked with Angie for a number of years, and she does our bookkeeping and helps with finance for our team here at Cotman. And one thing Angie has done, I thought that is so cool. Her son Gunther is a gifted like 3D printer. He loves to print designs and different things. And Angie's done, if you go to her website, she's done a great job incorporating Gunther's talents as a gift for clients. And so I was just in Denver a couple weeks back, had a chance to talk to Angie, meet her there. And she pulls up and said, "Hey, I want you to know Gunther made you something. I'm a math major. I'm a total math nerd and kind of, computer science guy. And Gunther is kind of a math guy too. And so he made me this awesome, like a 3D printed gadget. Now I have a couple of them from him. And to your point, Matt, I keep them. They're not like they're shelf items. That's where I was going. Bill, when you called me, I was going around my desk to go grab it out over here. But
yeah,
it's just so cool, And so Angie, I just want to say thank you because it's meaningful when you do that. It's from you. I think Matt, you had a comment about incorporating family. And so that kind of triggered as well. As like it feels like an extension of the Hassenbank group when your son is doing things for us, Angie. So anyway, I just thought that was cool, and I saw some maybe some things that were grabbed there intentionally, unintentionally by Angie that she does, Matt, that you're even recommending. So I thought it was pretty cool.
No, it's great.
Thank you, Luke.
I've got a Gunther bench, pencil bench, a 3D printed pencil. It's what Mr. Bill's sitting on back there. Got my pencils in it. So yeah, that's from Gunther. I'll never forget that. So Gunther is a fine chef as well, incidentally. Judith.
Baked spaghetti.
Oh yeah, baked spaghetti and hot dog garlic bread.
Yes, hi.
Hi Judith, it's good to see you.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I didn't open my camera. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you mentioned with the referral program. Don't if somebody refers and then you give the gift, and that's now like just like a couple of months ago, higher management promoted this new referral program. And actually, I tried to say that I feel that could be counterproductive. Like you said, it could feel like you buy people, and you don't want definitely that in the MSP space, right? Cybersecurity now. And I wonder how can you communicate that to your bosses or something? I'm in the sales team, or business development, how we call it.
Yeah. first, I'd love an introduction. Second of all, the way you can communicate that would be essentially, you got to tell them. I mean, I could recommend books for them to read that kind of outlines this very well. But I mean, the crux of it is we got to think it through from the psychology perspective, from the other side, right? Why wouldn't somebody be excited about this program? And when you start thinking in those terms, kind of the devil's advocate side, why wouldn't somebody like this program? Why wouldn't somebody act upon this incentive? And that's when you start realizing, well, they might feel cheap. They might feel bought. They might feel worried that if they refer their friend finds out about the program and said, oh, did you just refer me because you got this thing? Or because you really thought that this company was good for me? It's just, it can really slide negative very quickly. Not for everybody. There's always going to be somebody like, oh, free stuff. Sure. Yeah. What do you need? But you know, we're not selling cafe Americanos here where you get your little punch card and after 10 you get a free coffee.
Correct.
That's a different world.
It
So
is.
taking that into some, because, you know, I always go back to, as an MSP, what you're selling is an intangible product. You're not giving them a thing. You're giving them peace of mind. You're giving them operational stability. You're giving them all these intangible things. Okay, we're dealing with feelings and emotions all the time, and you're a trusted advisor, just like their accountant, their attorney, right? And we're giving them the equivalent of a punch card. You know, just if you think about why wouldn't somebody be excited to do it, that'll help them. That's the easiest way to help them.
Yeah.
And then you could add in the dimension, the people we're talking about are typically higher net worth individuals.
Totally.
And most of these programs, when they're rolled out rolled out for the least common denominator. You know, and then you have somebody who's literally can and decide to buy a Ferrari or a Tesla this weekend, and you think that a $500 gift card is going to incentivize them to refer their friend? The opposite.
Yeah, no, I got it. I understood it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, but just help them see it from the other perspective. Why wouldn't they do it? That's the easiest way to get them to see what you're concerned about. And then if they want something deeper, read Giftology or Beyond Giftology or introduce them to me.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Good question. Good commentary there. All right. I think we're hitting the top of the hour here. So next up is the spin to win. And today I'm going to, in keeping with the theme of today's presentation, I'm going to send the winner this Cutco spreader that just happens to have my cell phone number on it. So you're in it to win it. If you already have one of these, by the way, and you want something different, just ping me and I will send you something different. It's just as nice. All right.
Awesome. That's a great gift. All right.
Yeah.
I think I have everyone's names in here. If you don't see your name, just let me know and I'll put it on there. But everyone should be in here. All right.
Let's see. Oh, Annalise, you made it. All right. Fantastic.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Appreciate you being here today. Incidentally, Afton put the link to our YouTube channel in the chat. If you would, click on that link, go to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. We're trying to generate as many subscribers as possible and help as many MSPs and business owners out as we can. So if you watch that YouTube channel, we'll be sending the recording of today's webinar out there to that YouTube here and towards the end of the day. So any final questions or anything? If not, we're going to wrap it up. And Matt just put his cell phone up there so you can drunk text him, you know, when you're out partying this weekend.
That is my personal cell. Yeah. So feel free. But I could do my little wheel for the folks that filled out the the form with my QR code. So just give me a second. I'm off screen, but you can hear it. Oh boy,
Is it working?
it is. Michael.
Michael.
Boone.
Michael Bias won.
Michael
All right.
Bias. Michael Bias. You got yourself another item, buddy. So we can chat.
Sweet.
We can chat. You can pick out whatever you want. And
Full set with the butcher block.
yeah, up to $300, sir. Up to
Oh,
there you go.
$300.
Come on.
So
You get a picture.
that
You get a
basically
picture of
gets
the full
you
set.
that basically gets you almost any knife we make.
Yeah.
Actually, it gets any knife we make. But it's yeah. So I got you covered. Well, we can connect after this call, and everybody else who's on, and Henry, I'd love to chat with you about gifting, and kind of if we knew each other from 15 or 18 years ago, I'd love to get reacquainted or get to know your business. And thanks again for Bill for having me and Afton and everything. And as you could notice, I'm traveling today. I'm in Las Vegas for a convention of restoration companies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Very
so
nice.
really
Good
cool.
luck on that one.
Well, thank
All
you.
right. Well, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next month.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.